Hey, my name is Kia. This is Greater Expectations, and today I'm answering some of your frequently asked questions about Wegovy, but the 0.25 milligram dose. So stay tuned. So the first question is, when does Wegovy start working? In my case, it started working right away. I noticed quickly that my appetite was different. It wasn't anything extreme. It wasn't as if I could not finish a meal or I didn't get 3 meals a day in, because I did. But I did notice that I was eating less and the food noise quieted a little bit, in the sense that I wasn't snacking as much as I usually was. I believe in the grand scheme of things, the answer to the question is that Wegovy works best over time. I don't know if any of you have seen like the official Wegovy commercial. In the bottom right hand corner of that commercial, it says Wegovy 2.4 milligrams. And I believe that's for a reason. You will lose the most weight at the highest dose. You will experience some extreme appetite suppression once you reach the highest dose, which in turn will cause you to lose more weight. So I think that, the 0.25 milligram dose, it does its job in introducing the medication into your body, getting you adjusted, but it's the higher dosages, I would say from 1.7 milligrams to the 2.4 milligrams, that will really take the weight off over time. I get that question so much, and I understand. It comes from a place of frustration, because now you've started this somewhat popular medication and you're 3 weeks in and you've only lost a couple of pounds and you're like, what the heck? I was expecting more. But just remember that you are starting at the lowest dose, and this is just the introductory dose. For some people, they have like a more impactful experience as far as weight loss at the lowest dose, but for the majority of us, we only lose a couple of pounds. So I always suggest, when people ask me this question, my suggestion is, when starting at this lowest dose, this 0.25 milligram dose, this is the time for you to set up some healthy habits. This is the time for you to try to start eating clean, try to take your vitamins, get on a really great regimen with that. If you are inactive, try to consider, moving your body more, even if it's some light stretching. This is the time, because when you step up in the dosing, sometimes, like some unwanted side effects come. And if you already have like a really good pattern of exercise, a really good vitamin regimen, you're drinking your water, you're trying to move your body more, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to keep that regimen. And Wegovy works best when you work with it. I always say Wegovy is a tool. So it works best when you're willing to put a little extra work in too. So try to set up those healthy habits now at this lowest dose so that you can have more success throughout your journey. The next question is, should I start eating clean and taking my vitamins before starting Wegovy 0.25 milligrams? That would probably be a good idea. I mean, especially if you've been eating poorly up until like your designated injection day. Say for instance, you picked up your medication on Wednesday and you had a hamburger and some greasy fries for dinner, and then Thursday morning you had some fried bacon with a side of sausage and some pancakes and some eggs, and then you say, well, I'll just inject the medication after breakfast. That may be a mistake, okay? Because Wegovy does not like greasy foods. You will experience some unwanted side effects and some very uncomfortable side effects: gas, nausea, bloat, possibly diarrhea, abdominal cramps. And I know this from experience. This is not something I'm guessing at. This is something that I've experienced personally. So if you do have a poor diet, then I would say yes. Why don't you try to eat clean for a couple of days? Get your water in, get really hydrated, so that you don't have those unwanted side effects from the medication. But a word of caution, don't push your weight loss journey back. If you have to just take some of those things out little by little, I suggest you do that, because we're not striving for perfection. We're just striving for consistency. And it's a journey, and it's going to take time to get there, okay? So just do the best you can. At the very least, start taking your multivitamin, start drinking your water, and try to remove some of those unhealthy foods, you know, a little at a time. You may say, I'm not gonna eat any fast food, or I'm really gonna watch my sugar intake, or I'm not going to choose unhealthy snacks. Like that. Because remember, we want this to be sustainable. You're in this for the long haul. You don't want to deprive yourself. And many of us, like myself, I couldn't go cold turkey. I start removing things little by little, and I think I've had success because of that, because I've never felt deprived. And the way that I set up my journey and my eating plan, it's been sustainable. And I've had some joy throughout this journey. But of course, I had to learn. You know, it's a learning process. We want the weight off, and so sometimes we can go to extremes. I suggest you don't do that. Don't go to the extreme of cutting everything out, you know, because then you'll be miserable. But just remove a little bit at a time, and I guarantee you'll have more success in your journey, and you will continue to lose weight. So the next question is, where should I inject Wegovy? So there are a lot of opinions about recommended injection sites and which injection site works best as far as appetite suppression. I say that depends on each individual, because we all have a different chemistry and a different makeup. The recommended injection sites, according to the Wegovy manufacturer, are the upper arm, the abdomen, and the thigh, okay? So I've never injected Wegovy in my stomach. I have not. I don't plan to ever, but that's me. I've only injected in my arm and in my thigh. As of recently, I've moved back to my thigh because my arms are a little less meaty as I've lost weight. And my thigh, it just seems to be a little bit more comfortable. But I can't say that I'll continue to inject only in my thigh, because I may go back to my arm. I said all that to say, you should try every injection site to see how your body responds. I know when I first started the 0.25 milligram dose and I injected in my arm, I had a headache. And so I moved to my thigh and I had less of a headache the following week. But I think once I got to maybe the 1 milligram or the 1.7 milligram dose, I decided to go back to my arm just to see if anything had changed. So you may inject it in your arm and you may not have a headache. You may inject it in your thigh and you may get a headache. You may inject it in your stomach, you may have gastrointestinal issues. Who knows? It's best to just try each injection site, you know, every week. And that's what my doctor suggested for me. He said, this is what I want you to do, Kia. I want you to try here, here, and here every week. You see what works best for you. Note any significant changes, you know, as far as side effects or unwanted symptoms, and go from there. And so that's what I suggest to you. Just try it for yourself, see how you feel, and go from there. Either way, don't let any possible or potential side effects scare you from injecting the medication. okay? Because there have been people that have injected the medication that have 0 side effects, and you could be one of those people. So don't let fear hold you back on your weight loss journey, because you never know. If the Wegovy pen is holding you hostage from starting your journey and you are really, really, really afraid, I have a 5-minute tutorial that I'll try to link in the cards, or I will link it at the end of this video. And all I suggest is you take your pen out and you let it come to room temperature, and then you start that video and you inject it with me. I have 2. I have a 5-minute and I have a 1-minute. The 5-minute video goes more into detail about injecting the medication, and then the 1-minute is just inject the medication with me. So you'll have your choice. I'll link both of the videos, but it's not as bad as you think. Just try it, okay? Once you inject it the first time, you'll see that it's not as bad as you thought it was gonna be, and you can keep rolling on this journey. The next question is, I can't find 0.50 milligram Wegovy anywhere. What should I do? You should talk to your doctor. He or she should be able to help you to find some type of alternative. This happened to me at 0.50 milligrams. I could not find it at any CVS in my area due to the national Wegovy shortage. My doctor was aware of it, and he knew that it was a potential of me not being able to step up to that 0.50, and so he told me that he was going to put me on Ozempic if that were the case, and that's exactly what he did. So for the 0.50 and the 1 milligram dose, I was on Ozempic. So I suggest you talk to your doctor and you find out if there is an alternative. If your doctor is unaware or you're not getting any movement, you can contact your insurance provider. If you are covered for Wegovy through your healthcare insurance, you can call them and say, hey, due to the national shortage, I'm unable to step up in my medication dosaging. What do you have as an alternative? And whatever they tell you, you can relay it back to your doctor, and you should be able to continue on your semaglutide journey. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions regarding Wegovy 0.25 milligrams. If you like this type of content, be sure that you are subscribed so that you do not miss a video. Also, don't forget to comment, like, and share. Be kind, stay positive, be consistent, and take care of yourself and others. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.